You know, normally I kind of wait a few minutes, let people file in, that type of thing. But I think we got to get down to business tonight, everybody, because it is our first off season at the helm of this team. We had one hell of a draft, picking up all of the goaltenders. DiPietro, Brizgalov, Lundqvist, and the GOAT, Dan Ellis. Among others, you know, some guy named Dunny Hiatley. Never heard of him. And that sets us up for free agency, where, again, salary cap is not currently an issue because there was no salary cap in the era. But do we bring Alexei Yashin to the Islanders after all? That is the big question. It is him and Brian McCabe that I'm really looking at. Because, what was it, Mikhail Grosek? Yeah, it is. Mikhail Grosek is solid, but not going to get much better, and $6 million for that much is a little bit rough. But again, there's no salary cap, so I'm experimenting here in real time. Based off of the ages of the players, though, is what I'm primarily looking at. Yashin would kind of be the old guard. He'd probably be in his 30s by the time we're a playoff team. But that's not too bad. Right? Shout out to Wendell. And of course, Ollie Okinen's here. Swartmaster, to you as well. Good seeing you. I think we have to bring in Yashin, right? I've put thought into this for like 24 hours, and I still can't decide. Just because, will it make us too good? But the team right now would be him, Isbister, Conley, Jokinen, and their band of merry men. Any restrictions of salary cap being turned off? Nope. I imagine you could outbid the AI every time. Probably, however, I don't know if the game is stupid, nor does Snipe, in regards to just paying somebody, but then having the AI be like, oh, we don't want to take on the salary. So... But yeah, in theory, you know, that is a fair point, right? Because with Yashin, I could just do bam, and he'd probably take it. So I think what I'll probably do for free agents is look at what they want and offer them what they want. And if they take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. So he wants a 7-year deal to bring him to age 34, worth over $10 million a season. LA, Ottawa, and Atlanta are in for him. Why not us? Let's send Alexei Yashin this contract offer and see if he's willing to come to the island. We're also going to go in for Brian McCabe and see if he is willing to sign here. Oh, no, we're not. He's an RFA. I didn't notice. I did not notice. Okay, well, no Brian McCabe. 4 first-round picks for Brian McCabe. That's not going to happen. God, again, Green and Jokinen are PJ Stock and Trevor Gillies. Yeah, that's what's going on, my man. I am gonna send a deal for Philip Kuba. 2nd-round pick. Jesus, what does it take to not have a draft pick? Oh my God, what the what the hell is the offer sheet compensation right now? It has to be under $700,000 to not be a draft pick. Well, this is an entirely different universe that we're occupying right now, isn't it? Jesus. I don't even think I can sign PJ Stock for that. No, he won't say no. Or he won't say yes. Trevor Gillies is a 60. Jesus, we're not going after him. So I think Yashin's going to be our guy at this point then. Based off of what I'm seeing, he is the big name to go after. And then aside from that, we'll just kind of build up. We could go for Eric Perrin, but he's not going to get much better. All right, let's find out. Alexei Yashin, will you in fact be an Islander? I don't know hockey. Sportmaster, but your name is Sportmaster. You have to know hockey. Denis Georgievich has been brought on as a new assistant coach. Not bad. And then we're going to have a bunch of scouts signing. What's the lowest you can offer a player? I'd imagine about 500K right now. I would imagine. Also, since when is the text for these responses gigantic? I mean, I appreciate it because, you know, just squinting at the screen all the time because I can't fucking read anything. That's a lie, but, you know. Mrazek's on as a goalie coach. That guy's on as a goalie coach. Mateo Combs went elsewhere. That's fine. All of the scouts. Just give me an answer in regards to Alexei Yashin. You know you want to. You know you want to. Alexei. Come on now. Why is the font big for scouts but not for coaches? Because... oh, man, Yashin is making us wait. All right, we got room for one more scout, even though none of these scouts are particularly good. We'll just... yeah, and again, we can go over budget because it doesn't matter. Owner mode's not on. They need to... yeah, they're saving it for next game to tout as a change. Fair. Fair. I need... Brigley. AHL associate coach. Let's give you all of the money, old Tim Brigley. God, it's so satisfying to be able to do this so much quicker. I had to beg and plead for it for so long, and finally we got it. So, this should be the upcoming day that we find out about Alexei Yashin. 11 teams are in the sweepstakes. Nick, you can, if you have owner mode on and have it auto, like everything works, but you won't have the money to sign. You have to put a lot more thought into scouts and coaches. Why does our football club miss so many sitters? LFC, I don't know. That Arsenal game was the back-to-back games. Really. I mean, discounting the West Ham Carabao Cup game. It's when Joe Gomez looks like one of your best players, you know, most likely to score. It's a bit of a problem. Okay. Alexei Yashin. Are you, in fact, going to be an Islander? For those who do not know, maybe you don't remember, maybe you weren't old enough, Alexei Yashin was a really, really good player for the Ottawa Senators who had a whole lot of contract dispute issues going on, and Mike Milbury traded for Alexei Yashin and sent to the Senators Zdeno Chara, Bill McCult, and the second overall pick that the Senators used to sign, or draft and sign, Jason Spezza. Right. So, yeah. A pretty terrible move. Can we replicate it? No, we can't. All right. Yashin elects to go to the Anaheim Ducks. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, you might say. Korea, Solani, and Yashin. And that's not true. We offered him what he wanted, but yeah. So free agent-wise, then we're good to go. There's literally nothing for us to do right now. There's nobody else for us to sign or anything like that. We do need another coach. There's not another great one, though, now that guy's left. So it is what it is. We're able to move on. No Alexei Yashin. We have a couple RFAs that we'll have to sort out with, you know, a contract with Olli Jokinen, but that's nothing we got. No problem in that regard. Pissed me off that we can't have the Mighty Ducks logo in this game. I hear ya. I understand. All right, so RFAs. Just Olli Jokinen at this point. We'll sign him to what he wants. Aside from that, goalies Luongo, Flaherty, Thomas, Backstrom, Valaket, and then DiPietro. Again, unfortunately, Tim Thomas just isn't going to develop at all. There's really no reason to sign Rick DiPietro right now. You can just let him develop along with all the other guys here. We could use a better backup goalie, though, other than Wade Flaherty. Let's see who's out there really quickly. Who is out there for goalies? Honestly, it looks like Wade Flaherty is going to be the guy. There is Corey Hirsch, Zach Bierk, and then more familiar names. But, yeah, fucking Rob Divis. Or Reinhard Divis. There was a Rob Divis, too. He was a defenseman. That's right. I think. Pretty sure. My goat. My absolute goat. Former Portland Pirate, Rostislav Stania. Oh, my goat. I want to sign him so bad. He was a really promising goalie and then just said, I'm going back to Europe and never came back over. But God, I loved him. God, I loved him. I guess I'll just stick with the goaltending then. So the defense. Actually, you know, we'll go back to that in a minute. Let me make sure that Olli Jokinen signs, which he will. Olli. Olli? Thank you. Let's see. So, goalies. Luongo, Flaherty, that's fine. Thomas and Backstrom. I'm honestly going to call up Tim Thomas because Nick Backstrom should be the starter. So, Tim Thomas might even end up being the backup over Wade Flaherty. Behind Roberto Luongo, which is one hell of a tandem. Defensively, Chara's up to an 84. We have Chara, Brewer, Robida, and then a bunch of depth defensemen. A bunch. Right, I'm going to need to send down a forward here, so let's send down Webb for the moment. Megalodon, I didn't actually. I had no idea. All right, Mike Van Ryn. So, 2, 3. We could send, yeah, all of these guys. Well, Martinek's 24. Mitchell's 23. But Campbell, Biron, and Van Ryn can go down. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 2 dudes to be called up here. Ray Giroux and Aris Bermanis. I mean, why not? They're both terrible, but we're all right with our defense being terrible this year. And that defense is indeed terrible. So 1, 2, 3. We got 4 defensemen in the AHL that we care about. 57-month notification. Is there one, though, Frank? Because nothing's popped up for me. It's almost Tugmas Eve. No, it's not Tugmas Eve. It's February 23rd. How dare you? I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush for Tugmas Eve, by the way. We're going to hit the big 3-0 in February. All right. Didn't mean to look at free agents, but Shane Knighty, Grant Ledyard. I mean, there are options of dudes who can fill in. Ooh, Jeff Gilson's out there, though. 75 overall, 20 years old, medium top 6. We can definitely offer Jeff Gilson a contract. There's also Jean-Luc Grandpierre. But yeah, he's a low 6, otherwise I would sign him. Okay, so we brought in Jeff Gilson, or likely will, but defensively, unsigned dudes, just Branislav Meze. But because he's on Hamilton, I can't immediately sign him. So we should be okay. We only really need just Jeff Gilson. Let me look at the forwards. Find out if we're signing someone like Danny Heatley out of the gates. So the right wing side, Dumont, Park, Orsaw, Petrovitsky. Ronald's 23. Orsaw is 23. Park is 24. I mean, we might as well give these guys a chance. Chris Neal can stay down in the AHL. And there's Steve Webb. I think we can send down Petrovitsky for Webb. But because these two are depth forwards, we're going to play them. And then left wing, Isbister, Green, 22-year-old John Sim, and 24-year-old Eric Bolton. So Bolton can play. Gagne's 22. Berglund's 20. Peter Mika's terrible. Damn it. A big shout out to my main man, Jers. Jers, how the hell are you? How's Jersmas? Thank you very much for the raid, my man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You're just in time to watch me fail at taking the New York Islanders to the promised land. So, welcome in, everybody, by the way. MLB. One of the few people holding on, huh? I respect it. But yeah, this is a retro roster made by One Snipe and Score, who's hanging out in the chat. This is a replicated 1999-2000 NHL roster built within NHL 24. We're having mixed success. First time playing it forever, Madden mostly. That's fair. I've seen a lot though about MLB between, you know, like takes that you have made or someone like Mills as well. It's been interesting there. Interesting indeed. But Jers, again, thank you very much for the raid. God, left wing. Before I forget, left wing. Andy McDonald could play left wing, which is good. Napster, I have heard about the Madden mods that came out. I've seen Mills actually post about those a lot, and it's interesting. You know, normally I alternate between like a Madden and an NCAA, but man, I might have to go back to Madden again. Same as NHL in May. Well, Jers, it's funny because it's like, oh, MLB, of course it's dead in September. And you're like, NHL will be dead in May. Dude, NHL's dead now, according to some people. Record time. Oh, man. All right, Olli Jokinen, you got to get the call up here. We got Conley, Jokinen, McDonald. Jerry Dopita. Jason Krog could play there, too. If we consider McDonald a left wing, then we can send down John Sim, and then we just need a rando dude who we're not trying to build up, and that can be Steve LaRouche. Beautiful. So our NHL team is going to suck this year. We did successfully finish in last place in our first season. We didn't win the draft lottery, which is okay. We still ended up with Danny Heatley in the draft. Were there any half-decent forwards here? Not that I want to sign anybody who's going to make the team better. Shout out to Mike Eagles and Esa Tikkanen. Are there any good prospects? Just an enforcer. Andre Nazarov? It is Andre Nazarov. Don't make him like this guy anymore. Christ. Christmas. Matthew Darsh. Okay, Matthew Darsh isn't that bad. 23, high bottom 6. There's a lot of high bottom 6s. All right, Snipe, I see you. There's Hamilton, who's tragic. Is this Jared Bednar? That's Yaroslav Bednar. I was hoping it was Jared. We can sign him. Why not? We'll sign Yaroslav Bednar. We'll sign Matthew Darsh. Medium bottom 6 never seems to pan out. That's fair. I use quite a few high bottom 6s too, so that is fair. Brant Myers. So fun fact about Brant Myers, right? One of the things I love about the old school rosters like this is I can be like, here's a random name that hardly anyone will remember. But I remember because roster nerd, and I get to tell you why Brant Myers is cool. Here's why Brant Myers is cool. We're going to go over to his elite prospects page, right? This man, back in the day, played one game for the Boston Bruins and had 31 penalty minutes in one game and then went right back to the minors. Just weird enforcer things from the late 90s, early 2000s. And it wasn't the only time he got a call up and then just had a crap load of penalty minutes. In his NHL career, he played 154 games and had 687 penalty minutes, which would be what? 4.46 penalty minutes a game. So he nearly fought every game in terms of the penalty minutes. It's not always going to equal out that way, but it is essentially as if he fought every game. Psychopath. Again, they don't make players like that anymore. They just don't. It's insane. You should look up how many penalty minutes Garrett Burnett had in 99-2000. Oh, man. I mean, there's a lot of the enforcers of this era. I mean, you can literally see on the free agent list, look at how many of these dudes are enforcers, including Jody Shelley. This was just the era. It was beautiful. A lot of 10-minute misconducts, more than likely, yeah. So, but you know, that was the job. Step out there, jump a guy, send a message, and hit the showers. I need to double check before I sign someone like Brant Myers, because I'd love to just have an AHL team of goons. Let's double check the AHL or potential AHL players. Because if we look at our forwards, Danny Heatley's up to a 76 at 19 years old. He played or was listed as being in Germany. So he is AHL eligible. Is it better to leave Danny Heatley unsigned or let him play top line time in the AHL? What is going to be the best way to let someone like Danny Heatley develop? I think he's our only dude that's not on a team, on one of the Canadian junior teams. Now Jeff Taff as well, if we wanted to sign him. Not that Jeff Taff is any good. And then Joel Lundqvist. I'm not going to sign the Lundqvists until it's time to sign them together, though. It's just Danny Heatley, who I don't know if I want to sign immediately. Is that the best way to develop him right now? I'm not sure. If we don't sign Heater, in terms of dudes who could still develop, how many medium bottom sixes do we have? Quite a few. Landon Wilson's there. Of course, Snipe mentioned Garrett Burnett. With his 36 discipline, which is, of course, the lowest it can possibly get. That's awesome. I think we might as well sign Heatley. Otherwise, it's Esa Piernas, Jeff Hogan. I mean, there are a few players to sign here and there. Shout out to Frank Grimes. There it is, the 57 months. Frank, thank you for that. I appreciate it. 57 months is simply outrageous. Did Gretzky retired the year before? So yeah, no Gretzky on these rosters. If Comic Sans, you should be able to go back into the VODs from last night. I go through every team at the start of season 1 just to showcase what it looks like. Or if you have any specific questions, hey, ask away. If I can't answer it, Snipe's hanging out in chat. He should be able to, obviously. It's his roster. God, I just don't know what to do about Heatley. I am going to sign Jeff Hogan to an ELC. I'm going to sign Esa Piernas as well. Is there anybody else who can get a little bit better? I mean, Jody Shelley's 24. Let's sign Jody Shelley as a face puncher. I need a couple of dudes to fill up the AHL roster. Hello, menu lag. Leave Heater. He'll make the team better. I mean, he'll be in the AHL, though, not the NHL. We're fine with the AHL roster being good. If anything, we want the AHL roster to be good. I'm going to sign Jeff Taff because I need somebody else. I don't know what to do about Heater. I don't know what to do. Hogan signs, Shelley, Bednar, Darsh, Piernes, Gilson. Okay. Well, we have the one really boring thing to do, which is optimizing the staff really quickly. Obviously, one of these two coaches will end up being the head coach. So actually, let's see who's a better fit. Playing young players with X factors can make them lose them even if they play well. Yeah, honestly, that's what I was thinking based off of how player development went last season. Maybe we just wait it out. And the defense is good. The forwards were good as well. So let's set up our lines. Our Season 2 team here with the Islanders. This isn't going to be particularly pretty, and a big shout out to Vince for the follow. I do appreciate it. So left wing side is set. As is, I think, that right wing side. Although I'm going to put Orsaw ahead of Richard Park here. It's because Orsaw's a year younger those are the lines for our forwards this season. Oh, we're going to be so bad. We have a couple of pieces. Obviously, we're missing the big superstar. We need the big superstar. Danny Heatley probably isn't even going to be enough. We're going to need at least another Danny Heatley to make this work. Defensively, there's Mitchell, there's Brewer, Martinek, and then Chara and Robida. That's actually a pretty good 1-2 punch with Chara and Stefan Robida. Goaltenders, Roberto Luongo and Tim Thomas. You'll love to see it again. Luongo lost a lot of his abilities last season, even though he played every single game. God damn it. All right, so the question is, I still want the best coach development-wise for the guys that we do care about. So this head coach who favors veterans 63% for a team fit. How good is Georgievich? 66. There you go. Cody, it's all good, buddy. It's all good. I hope you're set up well for the holidays. I hope you're doing well in general. Good to see you. All right, outside of that, Campagna, better on the power play, but he's not even particularly good in that regard. All right, we'll have Hay as the assistant coach, Campagna as the associates. We have our goalie coach. We have too many goalie coaches somehow. I don't know how the hell that happened. We'll get rid of Kennedy, the worst teaching of the bunch. Sorry, Jody, did I get an advent calendar? Not this year. And then I saw, you know who normally gets an advent calendar in my household? My dog. Emmy's the one that gets the advent calendar with a different treat every day because she's the goodest girl. All right. So I have two coaches. I have to sign really quickly. Quint can be the head coach because it doesn't really matter. These two would be perfect. So Chance Foy. What a name. God, I love that you can scroll to max offer in seconds. I can't get over it because I barely played franchise mode this year enough to do this. I fought so fucking hard for that. And it's ridiculous that I had to fight so hard to get that change in the game. Jesus Christ. We do have to set up our scouting as well really quickly. So uno momento. Again, as always, it's some of the boring stuff that I try to remember to do off stream. I didn't have time to do it today. But let's get another coach or another scout there in the queue. We need a U.S. East. A U.S. East. Why do coaches have headshot? It's two different systems. For whatever reason, that's just the way it's set up. It's two entirely different systems. And as it's been explained to me, it's not as easy as just, grab and drop or a snap of the fingers. It's just one of those things. As it's been explained and showcased to me that it's something that would actually take them a while to fix instead of being quick and easy. So it's way down the list of things that they're going to fix. Because if they do that, then people will be like, well, what about this, 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 and this? So they're trying to get to this, 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 and this first, is how it's been explained to me. You call this boring, but I put hundreds of hours in the Football Manager. Fair. Well, this is the boring part of what some people... Like, put it this way. Even this bores me in franchise, having to set up coaches and scouts. It's a little bit tedious and boring. I still enjoy it, but, it's the worst part of this franchise mode, at least. There are some franchise modes where scouting's a little bit engaging. Like NCAA Football 13 and that recruitment system in college, great. But this, take it or leave it. When you get to Vancouver, make sure Dakota Joshua gets high franchise. I'll see what I can do. Fun fact, I'm actually on the New York Islanders, and I think Islanders fans are going to be very, very mad at me when they see their team's defense that I completed. I'm still working on the forwards, but yeah, I think people are going to be upset about the defense. Barzy, you're an Islanders fan. Would you agree that Noah Dobson's the best defenseman on the team? Because he is. He absolutely is. So I hope one Islanders fan agrees with me. All right, Barzy's happy about it, so there you go. Islanders defense hasn't been good since Taves left. All right, well, let's take a look at the AHL, and we should be good to go from there to start this season. Let's go best lines. So the goalies, Backstrom, Steve Valiquette, which is good. Defense, Campbell Baron, Van Ryn. Do we care about Evgeny Korolev? No, we don't. We do care about Jeff Gilson. I don't know why it didn't put Jeff Gilson in there by default. That's really weird. But we care about Jeff Gilson. We care about Jeff Finger. And then Berglund is a forward. Cool. That works. I mean, I was like a doll in there. He's the highest rated option. So in terms of potentials, we're not looking that bad. It's going to be Mike Van Ryn and Brian Campbell. Gilson and Biron, Finger, and Kevin Dahl. That's Finger and Kevin Dahl, not Finger in Kevin Dahl. Although if he's into that, hey, by all means. No judgment here. For the forwards. For the forwards. Is there anybody here that we don't really care about? Jeff Taff is fine. There's Bednar. Forward-wise, they're looking pretty good, right? I don't think there's anybody... I mean, Berglund's a scratch, but... Well, okay, maybe he should be in the lineup. Okay, so I'm going to have to take out one dude. This is now this franchise with Valiquette's damn good as an analyst on the Rangers broadcast. That's fair. I haven't seen too much of like the MSG network coverage or anything like that, but that seems to be a really common theme, is just, hey, you know, this guy wasn't really that notable of a player. Really good analyst. Works out well. Like, I don't want to say not a really good player because it sounds disrespectful, but someone like Frankie Corrado, I've seen really good things from. You know, it's guys like that who end up doing well. I have to take somebody out, but I'm not going to. I think that's fine. So shout out to second line winger Chris Neal. AHL team will be nowhere near as good as they were last year because of who we've graduated up, and we didn't give them Danny Heatley. I would very much expect us to be dead last in the league again. We didn't land Alexei Yashin in free agency. That's the forward core. We're going to be bad.